Okay, let's have some fun with this. So this is the AI and the Daeda MCP. So I'm going to fire off this prompt. And basically, this HubSpot portal, we're a Pokemon vendor. I'm going to say I'm a Pokemon card vendor looking to create a system that surrounds one of my lead magnets. So I have 5 things I need. I need an intake form, right, that creates contacts. I need a drop down on that form with lots of Pokemon called favorite Pokemon. If the user selects a Pokemon from generations 1 or 2, we know they're very, very old, right? Incredibly old. Pokemon came out when I was born, so we want to mark them as a senior. If they select a Pokemon from the two newest generations, which I don't know anything about, I want you to create a deal for them because they're obviously super into Pokemon. We want to get them in front of sales. But if they select a Pokemon that sounds like a Pokemon but actually doesn't exist, we want to mark them as spam. And we want to put this all into a right plan so we're not clicking through HubSpot, and we want to add this as a system to our HubSpot. So the AI is going to go, it's going to use the Daeda MCP, and it's going to try and check out if there's any existing information in this portal, which there shouldn't be, and it's going to come up with a plan to implement this entire system in HubSpot. So let's see what it comes up with. We can see, that worked for about 3.5 minutes, and it's created a plan and it's validated it against the portal. And what it's going to do is it's going to create 3 contact properties, a HubSpot form, and 3 contact workflows. The form creates contacts and captures the favorite Pokemon, and it's basically going to do everything we say. So let's submit it. And we can go to HubSpot and we can refresh here. And we can view the plan. So we can see we've got a favorite Pokemon property, a senior property, a spam property. It's going to create a form for the Pokemon League magnet intake. And it's going to create a workflow that marks as senior, a high intent deal one, and one that marks as spam. So let's execute this. And you can see it's executed correctly. Let's check out the Pokemon dropdown. So we can see that here. You can see the options that it's gone for: Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Pikachu. We know all these. They're just complete babble. Yeah. Are they real? Who knows? Let's check out, some of the workflows. So let's do the mark senior, the high intent deal, and the mark as spam. We can see, mark senior. If the favorite Pokemon is any of these ones that I actually recognize, it's going to set senior to true. Easy peasy. The high intent deal, if it's any of these ones that I presume are real Pokemon, it's going to create a record called Pokemon high intent lead. And you can see it needs changes, but most of it should be properly filled out and put into the thing. So you can see the association is something that didn't exist, but we can fix that quite easily. And then the spam, if it's Flametail, Leaf Fairy, Aquaphant, you can set spam to true. And then finally, let's check out the intake form, and we can see in the editor, easy peasy, very basic. You've got an email, you've got your favorite Pokemon, you've got your first name. You can view the form, and you can see, it's done a basic deal. Though interestingly, it hasn't populated with Pokemon just yet, so that'll be something to fix. But there you go. That is how you can build a full lead form ingestion system based around Pokemon in about 5 minutes using the Daeda MCP.